In Japan, 92% of people over 80 can still touch their toes and stand fully upright without assistance. Compare that to America, where the average person loses 2 to 3 inches of height by age 70, and 75% of us are walking around with chronic back pain. Here's what's wild. It's not genetics. It's one daily practice that takes 8 minutes and costs absolutely nothing. Since 1932, Japan has been sitting on a spinal alignment secret discovered at Tokyo Imperial University. What started as a post-war recovery program became a national health practice that's kept multiple generations standing tall well into their 90s. Before we dive in, drop a quick comment. Where are you watching from, and have you noticed yourself shrinking? Hit that subscribe button so you never miss these Japanese health secrets. What you're about to see isn't stretching or strengthening. These are 5 positioning protocols that address every segment of your spine. The Japanese approach works with your body's natural design to restore the alignment that gravity and modern life have stolen from you. By the end of this video, you'll have a complete daily system that takes just 8 minutes. The goal isn't to live longer, it's to stand taller and maintain your independence all the way to 90 and beyond. All right, let's start with the foundation. Your spine loses a 1/4 inch of height every single day just from gravity and compression. While you're walking, sitting, standing, your intervertebral discs are being squeezed like sponges, losing fluid and thickness. Japanese people have one sitting position that reverses this process, and it only takes 5 minutes. This is seiza, which translates to proper sitting or correct sitting. This traditional Japanese sitting position has roots dating back to the Muromachi period in the 1400s and became a fundamental element of Japanese culture. You'll see it practiced in tea ceremonies, formal meals, and traditional homes with tatami floors. Here's how it works. Kneel on the floor with your knees together. Fold your feet so the tops are flat on the ground with your toes pointing backward. Now slowly lower your hips until you're sitting on your heels. Your spine should be naturally erect, not forced, but naturally tall. Imagine an invisible string pulling the crown of your head toward the ceiling. What makes seiza so powerful for spinal decompression is the positioning. When you sit this way, your spine stacks perfectly, vertebra on top of vertebra, creating optimal alignment from your tailbone to your skull. This position allows your intervertebral discs to rehydrate and expand back to their natural thickness. Think of it like releasing pressure on those squeezed sponges, letting them absorb fluid again. But there's more happening here. Seiza deeply stretches your quadriceps and hip flexors, the exact muscles that get chronically tight from sitting in chairs all day. When these muscles are tight, they pull your pelvis forward and create that collapsed, hunched-over posture we associate with aging. This position releases that tension at the source. Modern chair sitting does the opposite. It allows your postural muscles to completely disengage and weaken while simultaneously tightening your hip flexors. You're essentially training your body to collapse forward. Seiza trains the opposite pattern. If this position feels intense on your knees, and it probably will at first, place a firm cushion or folded towel between your heels and your hips. This reduces the knee compression while still giving you all the spinal benefits. Start with just 1 to 2 minutes. Don't force it. Your body will adapt gradually. The most common mistake I see is people rounding their spine or tensing their shoulders. Keep that spine naturally tall and your shoulders relaxed and open. As you get comfortable, work up to 5 to 10 minutes. When you can sit in seiza comfortably for 5 minutes, you've successfully reset your spinal foundation. Now that we've decompressed the spine, we need to address what's pulling it forward in the first place. Forward head posture adds 10 pounds of pressure to your spine for every inch your head sits forward. If your head is 3 inches forward, that's 30 pounds of constant strain on your neck and upper back. Japanese office workers practice one movement that brings the head back into alignment, and it takes 30 seconds. This is called katakori prevention. Katakori literally means shoulder stiffness, and it's such a common problem in Japan that they developed a national strategy to combat it. This technique emerged in the 1960s and 70s, in response to post-war industrialization and the rise of office work. Japanese workplace wellness programs still use this exact protocol today. Here's the problem. Smartphones, computers, and forward-leaning activities have created an epidemic of upper-crossed syndrome. Your head drifts forward, your shoulders round, and your upper back curves into a hump. This isn't just cosmetic. For every inch your head moves forward, the weight your neck has to support increases dramatically. Your poor neck muscles are working overtime just to keep your head from falling off. The katakuri prevention technique reverses this pattern. You can do this standing or sitting. Start by pulling your shoulder blades down and back, like you're trying to tuck them into your back pockets. At the same time, gently tuck your chin, creating a subtle double chin. You're not looking down. Your eyes stay level with the horizon. You're just pulling your head straight back. What you're doing here is retraining the middle and lower trapezius muscles, the muscles that hold your shoulder blades in proper position. Modern life has put these muscles to sleep. Meanwhile, your upper trapezius and the muscles in the front of your neck have become overdeveloped and tight, pulling everything forward and up. Hold this position for 30 seconds. You should feel a gentle stretch across your chest and engagement between your shoulder blades. Your neck might feel longer. That's exactly what we want. Perform 3 sets of 30 seconds, and do this multiple times throughout your day. Here's a variation that Japanese workplace programs teach. Stand in a doorway with your arms at 90-degree angles, forearms against the door frame. Step 1 foot forward and lean gently into the stretch while maintaining that shoulder blade retraction and chin tuck. This deepens the chest opening and makes the shoulder blade engagement even stronger. The most common mistake is shrugging your shoulders up toward your ears instead of pulling them down and back. Another error is arching your lower back to compensate. Keep your core gently engaged and your lower back neutral. This is about your upper body position, not your entire spine. Integrate deep breathing with this movement. Inhale deeply through your nose, feeling your rib cage expand. Exhale slowly, maintaining that shoulder position. The breathing enhances the release and helps reset your nervous system from the stress response that often accompanies poor posture. When you can perform this movement and immediately feel your neck tension release and your head position improve, you've successfully corrected your upper back alignment. Your upper back is now aligned, but if your lower back and hips aren't balanced, everything will collapse again within hours. 80% of back pain comes from pelvic misalignment, not from the back itself. Your pelvis is the foundation for your entire spine. If it tilts too far forward or backward, every vertebra above it has to compensate. Zen monks discovered a sitting position 800 years ago that automatically corrects pelvic tilt, and modern physical therapists are finally catching up. This is zazen, which literally means seated meditation. This ancestral practice of Japanese Zen Buddhism originated in monasteries during the Kamakura period in the 1200s. Monks maintained this position during hours of daily meditation, simultaneously developing mental clarity and physical strength. Here's what most people don't understand about the hip-spine connection. Your pelvis can tilt forward, backward, or side to side. When it tilts forward too much, you get excessive arch in your lower back and compression in your lumbar spine. When it tilts backward, you lose your natural lumbar curve and your entire spine rounds forward. Either way, you're setting yourself up for chronic pain and degeneration. Zazen solves this through positioning, not effort. Sit on the floor with your legs crossed. If you can manage it, bring each foot up onto the opposite thigh in lotus position, but simple cross-legged works perfectly fine too. The key is what happens next. Place a firm cushion or folded blanket under your hips, elevating them 3 to 4 inches above the floor. This elevation is critical. When your hips are higher than your knees, your pelvis naturally tilts slightly forward into the optimal position. You don't have to think about it or force it. Gravity and biomechanics do the work for you. Your lumbar spine can now maintain its natural lordotic curve, that gentle inward curve in your lower back that acts as a shock absorber. Now imagine that invisible string again, pulling the crown of your head toward the ceiling. Your spine naturally stacks in perfect alignment. What's remarkable here is that you're not using muscular effort to hold yourself upright. The position itself creates the alignment. But there's more happening beneath the surface. Zazen activates your deep core stabilizers, specifically the transverse abdominis and multifidus muscles. These are the muscles that wrap around your spine like a natural back brace. Unlike superficial ab muscles that you can see and flex, these deep stabilizers work automatically when your body is properly positioned. The cross-legged position also stretches your hip external rotators and adductor muscles. Modern life keeps us in internal rotation. Knees together, hips tight. This positioning reverses that pattern, opening your hips and creating the flexibility needed for healthy pelvic movement. Start with 5 minutes of zazen. Use that firm cushion or folded blanket. Don't force your legs into painful positions. If full lotus or even cross-legged is too intense, try sitting on a meditation bench or even a firm chair with your feet flat on the floor. The principles remain the same: elevated hips, natural spinal stacking, gentle activation. Work up to 20 minutes as your hip flexibility improves. Focus on breathing deeply and naturally, allowing your diaphragm to move freely. Common mistakes include slouching forward when you get tired or tensing your shoulders and neck. Stay relaxed but tall. When you can maintain zazen comfortably for 20 minutes with a naturally tall spine, your pelvis is balanced and your hip-spine connection is restored. Now, your foundation is set, your shoulders are back, and your pelvis is balanced. But there's one missing piece that holds it all together. Traditional core exercises strengthen the wrong muscles, the ones you can see. Your six-pack, your obliques, those superficial muscles do almost nothing to protect your spine during daily life. Japanese martial artists discovered how to activate the deep stabilizers that actually hold your vertebrae in place, and it happens through strategic positioning, not movement. This is called nakaoshi, which translates to middle press or internal pressure. This concept comes from Aikido and Judo, martial arts, where stability and balance are everything. A martial artist who relies on surface muscles gets thrown easily, but one who masters nakaoshi becomes almost impossible to move or destabilize. Here's what's happening deep inside your core. Wrapped around your spine are tiny muscles called the multifidus. They connect vertebra to vertebra, stabilizing each individual segment. Deeper still is your transverse abdominis, a muscle that wraps around your midsection like a corset. Below that is your pelvic floor. These three layers work together as your body's natural back brace. The problem is that sit-ups, crunches, and planks don't activate these deep stabilizers effectively. Those exercises work the rectus abdominis, your six-pack muscle, which actually doesn't do much for spinal stability. It's like putting a fresh coat of paint on a house with a cracked foundation. It looks good but doesn't fix the structural problem. Here's how to access your deep core. Lie on your back with your knees bent and feet flat on the floor. Slide one hand under your lower back. You should feel a natural arch, a small space between your spine and the floor. This is neutral spine. Not pressed flat, not arching up, but naturally curved. Now gently draw your navel toward your spine, as if you're trying to create a tiny bit of tension deep in your belly. This isn't sucking in your stomach. This isn't bracing like you're about to get punched. This is a subtle, deep engagement that happens about 2 inches below your navel. Here's the test. While maintaining that gentle engagement, try to breathe normally. If you can't breathe, you're using too much effort. The engagement should be light enough that you can talk, breathe, and move naturally while maintaining it. That's the difference between deep stabilization and surface bracing. Hold this gentle activation for 10 seconds, then release. Perform 8 to 10 repetitions. As you practice, you'll feel the engagement getting easier and more natural. Eventually, this activation becomes automatic, a background tension that your body maintains without conscious thought. Once you've mastered this lying down, progress to seated. Sit in seiza or zazen and apply that same gentle navel to spine engagement. Then progress to standing. The goal is to maintain this subtle core activation throughout all your daily activities, creating constant protection for your spine. Integrate breathing with this technique. As you exhale, gently draw in. As you inhale, maintain the engagement without increasing it. The breathing pattern reinforces the activation and prevents you from holding your breath, which is a common mistake. This is the 8-minute integration system, broken into morning, midday, and evening protocols. Each protocol targets the specific alignment challenges that happen at different times of day. Your body has different needs when you first wake up, versus after hours of sitting, versus before bed. Let's start with the morning protocol. This takes 3 minutes total. Your spine is stiff from sleeping in one position for 6 to 8 hours. Your discs have rehydrated overnight, but your muscles are cold and tight. Begin with 2 minutes of seiza. This gently decompresses your spine and stretches those tight hip flexors right when they need it most. Follow that immediately with 1 minute of the shoulder release protocol we covered earlier. Pull those shoulder blades down and back, tuck your chin, hold for 30 seconds, rest, repeat twice. This sets your upper body position before you start hunching over your phone or computer. Finish with 30 seconds of standing core activation. Stand tall, find that gentle navel to spine engagement, and take a few deep breaths while maintaining it. You've now set your entire spinal alignment for the day. 3 minutes, right after you wake up, ideally before you even check your phone. The midday protocol takes just 2 minutes. This is your reset button after hours of whatever position your work demands. If you're at a desk, you can do this right at your workspace. Start with 30 seconds of the shoulder release. You don't need to stand. Just pull those shoulder blades back and down, tuck your chin, breathe. Follow with 90 seconds of modified zazen. If you're at work, sit toward the front edge of your chair with your feet flat on the floor. Imagine that string pulling your head toward the ceiling. Find your core activation. Breathe deeply. This brief reset prevents the accumulated forward collapse that happens during long work sessions. The evening protocol takes 3 minutes and focuses on releasing accumulated tension while preparing your body for sleep and overnight recovery. Start with 3 minutes of seiza. By evening, you might have more flexibility than you did in the morning, so you can hold this longer and really let your spine decompress from the day's compression. Follow with 2 minutes of zazen, this time with a focus on deep, diaphragmatic breathing. Let each exhale release tension. This isn't just physical. You're signaling to your nervous system that the day is done and it's time to shift into recovery mode. Finish lying down with 2 minutes of core activation practice. This is your body scan moment. Lie in neutral spine, engage your deep core gently, and notice any areas that are still holding tension. This final protocol sets you up for better sleep and more effective overnight recovery. Here's your progression framework. Week 1 through 2, focus purely on learning the positions correctly. Don't worry about duration or perfection. Your body needs time to adapt to these new movement patterns. Week 3 through 4, start adding time. Increase your holds by 15 to 30 seconds each week. Month 2 and beyond, this is where it gets exciting. You can start layering in variations. Close your eyes during zazen to challenge your balance system. Add gentle movements within the positions. The goal is continuous small improvements, never dramatic jumps that risk injury or burnout. Set hourly reminders on your phone for posture checks throughout the day. When the reminder goes off, take 5 seconds to assess. Where's my head position? Are my shoulders rounded? Is my core gently engaged? These micro corrections prevent the major collapses that require full reset sessions. Now you have the complete system. 5 techniques that address every level of your spine, plus the exact daily integration routine that makes this sustainable for life. Let's bring this all together. By age 90, the average American has lost 3 to 4 inches of height and can barely look up at the sky without pain. Meanwhile, Japanese elders are still standing fully upright, independent, and living life on their own terms. The difference is this 8-minute daily choice. This isn't about genetics or luck. It's about 5 simple positioning protocols that address every level of your spine systematically. Japan has proven this works across millions of people for nearly a century. Every day of misalignment makes correction harder, but every day of practice builds the foundation for standing tall at 90. Which of these 5 techniques resonates most with your current posture challenges? Drop a comment below and let me know. If this video reaches 200 comments, I'll release the advanced spinal alignment protocol that Japanese physical therapists use for rehabilitation. Subscribe so you never miss these Japanese health secrets. Your spine doesn't have to shrink with age. Stand tall at 90. The choice starts today.